Welcome to 1111, which is a segment from my podcast where I talk about a topic for 11 minutes and 11 seconds. Today's topic is actually about love because I'm starting my new book, I think for June. Well, like today and tomorrow, and then June. All About Love by Bell Hooks. I'm very excited about this book. So far, I've read like 2 pages, and it's mostly about, from those 2 pages that I read, it's about her love and how she never really received love from her dad. And I was like, twins. I was like, twins. Not necessarily like I do have a dad, but like he's literally just a dad. Like there's really nothing special about him. And especially, so like, I feel, okay, not to get very binary here, but usually sons and dads are like, the only memory that I have from my dad from like my childhood is him trying to get me into soccer and me being like, soccer? Nor like I'm an artsy fartsy type of kid. Okay, I used to play with my sister's Barbies. So I was like, okay, well, soccer's not my vibe, dog. Like that's a little crazy. So, that's like the only thing that I remember my dad trying to do with me. And I don't know if that like just kind of, it was just him being like, well, but that's kind of like, I'm like, okay. So I'm very interested to see how this book gets. And it's made me very emotional because, as you know, I got in a fight with my mommy last weekend because I went out and I went past my curfew. And, it obviously caused a lot of like friction with, between her and I. And the biggest thing for me is I really want to resolve, my relationship with my mother. It's very important to me. I don't know if it's just, my mommy issues. I don't know if it's just me being a mommy's boy. But the relationship that I have with my mom is incredibly important with me. And although I do piss her off, and she pisses me off too, it's very mutual. I hold her in such a high regard that I realized as I was like scripting this or as I was, jotting down some ideas, my mom was my first love. And I think I don't think I'm the first person. I don't think I'm the only person. I don't think I'm going to be the last person. But my mommy is like a person that's really special to me. And yesterday, her and I her and I didn't talk for a while, like 3 days. And we were just avoiding each other, I think one that's a little important, if we're both pissed off and we have a conversation, it's not really going to go anywhere because we're just, pissed off and the water's boiled and, you can't really see clearly. But I read this post saying how we only have one mom in our life. Well, obviously, I feel like being queer, chosen family is very important and, whatever. But in my situation, I only have one mom and my mom is fairly old. So, and sick. So, for me, reading that, and it kept saying how, like, once she's gone, you're in charge of yourself. You're in charge of cooking. You're in charge of, obviously, you know what I mean. But you're in charge of, like, all of these things that your mom does for you that you take for granted. No one's going to do these things for you. And it really, like, made me very emotional. So, I went downstairs and so I had a conversation with my mom, not about the topic, not at all. We just talked about her pills. So, we're getting somewhere, Today she talked to me, very nice. We had dinner. I try to make this time to have dinner with her and my dad and, my brothers and stuff like that, whatever. And it was really cute. And I realized that love is a very big thing in my family. My mom raised us with so much love for each other that all of my 7 siblings were all extremely close. And I think it's because of love. Although, they all kind of do share the same common morals of like queer stuff. I am the little oddball out, which not necessarily odd, but you know what I mean. I'm the black, quote unquote, black sheep of the family. But we're still very, very close when in situations like this in certain religions, the family kind of has to disassociate and kind of stop talking to the little the quote unquote black sheep, or the different person who doesn't necessarily tie with what they believe in. And I find that because it's love. And I find that's the center. The center is always love. And anything that we do, I feel like love is always the center in anything. Yesterday, I did this meditation talking about our center, how we should always try to go back to our center, how whatever situation it is, always go back to your center. And for me, it's love. It's what can I learn from this? It's, I love the mantra of like, do not rush the process. Do not, rush anything, because everything grows at its own pace. Flowers, trees, plants, whatever it is, everything grows at its own pace. So I feel like, you know, not rushing existence and just loving whatever situation it is, even if it's a horrible situation. I found that going back to our center allows you to really view the situation in a whole different light. And, allowing time to really pass between all of these conflicts that I've had with my mother has really allowed me to really value her and to really appreciate her. And I think it's a very important thing that I've found with my mother. And I think it's a very I'm trying not to cry. I think it's a very, like, yay. I just, it's very difficult when you shared a lot of different things that your mom doesn't necessarily agree with, but you also see like, oh, my mommy also loves me to the point where no matter what, she always still supports me. She always still, she gives me the benefit of the doubt, and she allows me to be me. And not a lot of people get that, especially Mexicans, first generations, queer, agnostic people at that. And it makes me really emotional. And it makes me very grateful that I have that opportunity. And when in situations where I, can sometimes flake and sometimes not hang out with my friends because of my mother's restrictions, I get very annoyed. I get very pissed off. But in a way, I'm like, my mommy loves me. And I do have to make memories, and I do have to set my boundary because I am 20 years old, like whatever. But I'm like, I don't have her forever. Like, she's going to be gone by the time I probably have children. So I'm like, I'm sorry if I piss off any of my friends, but my mommy will be first before you, because she was there when I didn't have anybody. And it's like, just be very appreciative of what you have, because not a lot of people have mothers. I almost didn't have a mother. So, it's very important to realize what you do have. And although it's very messed up, just try to look at the best of things. Try to look at, okay, what is actually good there? And my mother can be whatever, but she's one of the kindest human beings on earth. She will take off her shoes for you. And, it shows how much she is loved, because no matter what she has gone through, she's always survived. And I feel like that is a divine flow and a divine energy that she carries. So I'm like, okay, how do I show me being appreciative? And I think for me, the best way to show my mom that I'm grateful is, kind of listening to her, but also allowing her to vent to me, because she is very, 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 very harmed from such a young age mentally. And allowing her to talk to me. We've had like one of the most beautiful conversations ever about her childhood and her own mother. And it makes me understand her a lot more. So, try to understand the people that are constantly irritating you, especially your parents or grandparents or guardians. And put yourself in their shoes. And I feel like it's made me be able to understand them a lot more. And And it's allowed me to not carry anger with me. It's allowed me to carry love and carry, you know, in a way, be the bigger person and actually really love. And I think it all just comes back to love. Like, I love my mother so much that I'm able to put a lot of things to the side and say, okay, let's look at the good things and let me love you for that. And I think she does the same with me. And I think that's a beautiful thing that we have. And I feel like if we are able to do that with a lot of humans, everyone around us, we would create such a beautiful place and such a beautiful energy. But, you know, that was just my little episode about mommies. I just love my mommy. And I feel like being a Latino, like, I don't know, like, moms are just very special. Like, at least to me. But hey, if you know, chosen family is also very important, and just love everybody. And if you're fighting with your mom, go talk to her. Apologize. She's not gonna be here forever. Love you. Bye.